Hello my loves, welcome back to ADDventures, where I do whatever I want on this channel because I have ADHD and I like to film things on whatever. Ironically, this episode's going to be about ADHD because, believe it or not, I'm interested in ADHD. That's one of my passions and obsessions, I guess you could say. And so today I actually signed up to go to a local ADHD education awareness event. I think they're going to talk about other like neurodivergent topics like OCD and anxiety and things like that. I'd signed up for another one about a month ago and it popped up on my Facebook feed, like kind of like a suggestion for this event. I actually thought it was just some like online Zoom event that was like not even in state. And when I signed up for it and it got confirmed that it was in my city, I was like, oh. And then I didn't go because, you know, the day came and went, and when the day was there, I was like, ugh. I was really tired that day. It was a long day, whatever. And then I didn't go. And of course I regretted it and felt like crap because, secret, a while ago I had an opportunity to meet How to ADHD, the girl that, which I usually remember her name. I'll put it right here. I had an opportunity to meet her because she was going to be in St. Louis, my city, doing an event here on ADHD, and I didn't go because I overslept. Because if you haven't watched any of my videos on sleep, I am one of those people with ADHD that struggles to wake up in the morning. It's just, my sleep is a nightmare. Anyways, so lo and behold, after I missed the one event, another like prompt popped up on my Facebook to sign up for it. I signed up for it, and it was a different chiropractor because it's going to be at a chiropractic office and at a different doctor at a different location closer to me. So I was like, oh, are they just having consistent ADHD events? Are they just bringing awareness to all these like kind of mental disorders? Or I don't like those words. I know you know that. But with it being like Mental Health Awareness Month, which I've done nothing on that. And I always miss like the important holidays like ADHD Awareness Week, or I think that's in October. I don't even know. But anyways, I thought I would take you with me and let's see what happens. I'm a little nervous. I'm going to try to see if I can like brave like my own shyness when it comes to like my personal life and film and talk to people and like take you with me there. If not, this video might just stay on the draft floor. We'll see. Hopefully, if you're seeing this, it's because we're going. So let's go. Also, I do want to say, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Ardell, and I actually have a main channel you could check out. It's ADDventures, where I talk about all things ADHD, mental well-being, and personal development. And if you're new here, please subscribe and follow along on all of my random adventures, because I just needed an outlet for my crazy creativity and my obsessed with everything and interested in everything mind, because over here we do nothing and everything and anything in between. So remember to subscribe, click the gray bell to be notified the moment I upload another video, and don't forget to let me know your thoughts on this video in the comment below, and please give it one big thumbs up if you like it, because if you thumbs down it, apparently that's not even a thing anymore, although thumbs downs were kind of like a rite of passage on YouTube, you know, so whatever. Anyways, okay, so of course I got the wrong address, but I pulled into a parking lot to try to figure out the address, and I wound up at the right place. So trying to figure out where I needed to go helped me figure out where I needed to go. So we're here, and there's not that many cars, so I'm kind of like nervous, and I feel really awkward going in. That's it. That's the building. That's all she wrote. That girl's haircut is like not good. But I saw one person, obviously that one person going in. So, I mean, what if there's like only one other person here and I make a connection? I don't know. I feel a little like apprehensive. What did I just get myself into? Although I just re-looked at the invite. Wow, I keep coming back. I'm like obviously nervous to go in. So now I have a minute left. So I'm over procrastinating and I really do have to go to the restroom. So, but I just looked at the class and it said time for your focus class. So maybe I will learn something. I'm just going to go in and hope for the best. Okay, I'm here. My shoes are like so squeaky, but I don't know. So far, so good. Gotta go to the restroom. I'm going to take you guys with me in the toilet. That was actually really good, and I'm really glad I went. There was about 15 people there, and like 2 of them were workers, but Turns out the speaker knew me, remembered me. I didn't remember them, but he remembered me, and I met him at my church. Like, what are the odds? And he kept comparing the brain to like a flower and soil and like nurturing it and fertilizing it. And I was like, for all of my viewers that know I'm obsessed with gardening, like I felt like it couldn't have been any more God, any more me, any more perfect. And yeah, I'm gonna get in my car and drive home and finish this video in a second, but it was such a good event and I'm really glad I went. And we're back. So I'm home. I was super, super tired and just got home, took a moment to rest and debrief and debunk the night. Just kidding, not debunk, but you know what I mean. Just contemplate and reflect on the night. It was a really, really good night. I'm so glad I went and pushed myself out of my comfort zone. The fact that this doctor knew me and remembered a conversation that him and I had had literally years ago. I felt like he was familiar, but I can't say that I remembered him, to be honest. I don't remember the conversation. I just feel like it was definitely a God thing and pretty cool that it kind of worked out the way it did. And hopefully we're going to be able to reconnect. I did tell him about my YouTube channels, and I told him if I could have access to that video, he's going to send it to me in a Dropbox. I'd like to link it. I'd like to share it with all of you if possible, because there was way more information that was too complex and like hard for me to like recite and like share with y'all. And I took a lot of notes, but still it's definitely really, really in-depth stuff. And I'm super excited to learn it all. I did offer and suggest for him to upload it to a YouTube channel if he even can make one real quick and have it unlisted. And I could leave it in the description section. If that happens, I will try to do that and make like a card and point it out in some way or another. But really, really good stuff. I'm really grateful that I met with this doctor. He has his own specialties. He specializes in childcare, young neurodevelopmental like childcare, and you know, for mostly mothers, but anybody can, like adults as well. He's a chiropractor, so he sees the full gamut of people. And I would like to be able to go to his office and be checked out by him if and when the time is right. I think it is out of pocket, so I can't necessarily afford it right now, but fingers crossed, one day I will. But one of the takeaways, I had many takeaways, but one thing I thought was really cool about his, like, basically the class that he presented was he kept equating everything to a flower. And he kept saying that he wanted to treat everybody not out of their deficit, but out of what they are. Basically, everybody has the ability to grow and blossom into an amazing human being. Like, where are you at now? Not what are you missing? What's your deficit? And we all hate attention deficit disorder, but just how are you created now? And how can we fertilize the soil around your brain better? How can we get you up to optimum performance? Like, you know, plants, if you haven't noticed, are my obsession. And the fact that he was equating everything to plants and plant care and things like that, and seeds and soil and all that stuff was so up my alley. I was like, okay, maybe instead of just painting butterflies, I need to start painting flowers again. I used to paint them back in the day. If I could find access to those old photos, I'll share them with you one day. But anyways, I just loved that, because he was basically saying he wants to help anyone blossom into their potential. And that is kind of like, in a roundabout way, my goal with helping people envision better lives for themselves, regardless of the brain that we were given. Because I do feel, I hate that I used to be so negative on myself, and I feel and I empathize with people that are hard on themselves because of their ADHD or because of their OCD or because of whatever, their depression or their anxiety or however we were created. And there's hope. I think that there's ways that we need to nurture ourselves and like feed our soil, like fertilize ourselves and make ourselves better human beings. And I think it's hard to get out of that, because if you're in a dis-ease state of being, which he talked about, that dis-ease, if your environment is not set up and conducive to helping you be your best blossomed self, then obviously it's going to be really hard to get there. One other thing he highlighted was gut health. I keep wanting to make a video on this and talk about this because I know about this, and in my obsession with documentaries, I've gone down the rabbit hole of microbiome and gut health and bacteria and healthy bacteria and probiotics and things like that. And if you don't know, now you know. But your gut is almost like your second brain. And he was going into details on that. Like 90% of serotonin is made in your gut. And obviously that's like something that is really good for brain health. Right now I'm like, can't even think of what it does for you. It's the feel good stuff. And then melatonin helps you sleep. But if you don't have a healthy gut, you can't have a healthy brain. He was saying candida overgrowth and leaky gut then leads to leaky brain. And sometimes if your leaky gut is so out of whack, which I swear I have that because I've been really forgetful, really brain fog lately, and not eating and treating myself properly. It can get so bad that the yeast overgrowth almost is like takes over, and it starts telling you in your brain what you should or shouldn't eat, almost like a secondary voice, or that thing on your shoulder that keeps saying like, eat more carbs, like, and then it just takes over, and you don't even realize that the nutrients that should just be flowing through you properly aren't distributed properly, and they're just like leaking into your system. So when he mentioned, and this is just like me trying to regurgitate to you what I learned. So if I'm messing up, I am not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination. So I want to look more into this, make a video about this, probably on my main channel. So let me know what your thoughts are. And if you don't know, if you found this video aside from that main channel, my main channel is ADDventures, where I talk about brain health, brain health, not gut health, brain health, mental health, personal development, ADHD, and all those exciting things. So, a few other things he was talking about, statistics about mental health and developmental issues and young child developmental issues. About 1 in 6 children in America have a developmental disability. Dyslexia affects 20% of school-aged children. Like, the fact that that's even a thing is like really freaky. Sometimes I think I'm dyslexic. In a very mild version, I get these weird little things in my brain where if I see the color green, I'll be like, oh, that's orange. But then I'm like, no, that's green. I'm not colorblind. I know what orange looks like and green looks like. But if it's really quick, I'm like, oh, look at that guy in the green shirt. I'm like, oh, wait, no, that's orange. Like, it's just like a flip of my brain. He also mentioned how OCD in 2009, the WHO did a study, and 1 to 3% of the total population of the U.S. Has OCD. That's 1 in 200 children have OCD. Like, that's pretty rampant, I guess you could say. And I can only imagine like how difficult that must be to have OCD, to always be. I think I had more OCD when I was a child. I don't know if I grew out of it or if it just changed. But when I was a kid, I had some weird little things that I always had to do, and it drove me crazy if I didn't do them. And I always would think about it. Moving on. He did talk a lot about stress and how stress can continuously affect the brain's ability to be healthy. Because if you're constantly in a fight or flight mode, then your brain is constantly going to be reacting in that way, and you're not able to make clear decisions because your brain is constantly trying to figure out how you can get out of the situation as opposed to logically thinking. I'd be curious to look more into this. He talked a lot about, what is it? Where is it in my notes? My notes. I'm like struggling to read my own writing because it looks like that of a doctor. Like, I have the messiest writing in the history of the world. He also said that some stress can turn off and on genetics. So if you were a child and you had predisposition to have like ADHD or anything like that, and you were in a very stressful childhood situation, it could activate ADHD or things of that nature. And I thought that was really interesting. Chronic stress causes you to have the same brain function as people with concussions. Mind-blowing. Like, wow. Like, I can't even imagine that. What was the other thing he mentioned? I want to find it. Sympathetic versus parasympathetic nervous system. That basically, I feel like somebody with ADHD, or at least what my takeaway was, is my body is constantly putting the gas and the brakes on at the same time. And I used to drive a stick shift, and I feel like that's obviously not good for any clutch. But I was like, wow, like, this is really, really crazy that is what somebody that is constantly in fight or flight mode is feeling. He had a graph, and it was like people that function in a very parasympathetic way, that's like they're always calm or they're tired or they're depressed. And then there's going to be people that are always in fight or flight mode and they're always on the go, over talking and things like that. But I feel like I'm both. And I always felt like I was like combination ADHD, or I am more inattentive type, but I don't know. I would be so curious to look more into this. Let me know your thoughts. I'm just rambling and sharing with you my night. The last thing that he talked about was neurodevelopmental disorder trifecta. He talked about the things that might start and like jumpstart genetic issues and ADHD issues, OCD. He talked about the full neurodivergent gamut, but he was saying like as a child, when you're born, if you have a traumatic birth situation, that could and is proven statistically to cause more issues with neurodevelopmental situations or issues. I don't know. So he was saying that if you have a C-section, the chances of you having ADHD, OCD, and things of that nature, autism, are higher. Same with if you took antibiotics a lot as a young baby, like the statistics of being like by the time you're 1 year old, like the statistics are really high, the fact or the chance that you've had antibiotics. And a lot of times it's because like you're a baby and you have ear infection, and that can like napalm your gut health, which is obviously not good for you. Also taking a lot of acetaminophen is not good for you if you weren't able to breastfeed, because the breastfeed is very nutritious for a growing baby. Basically, to wrap all this up, he said that we have to, the way you are born matters. I was a twin. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I don't remember. I did have a traumatic birth. I hit my mom's pelvic bone on the way out, and I'm like all bruised and messed up, and my sister's like, hey guys, I had an easy ride. So she paved the way, and she put like a roadblock in the way for me. So like I definitely had a traumatic birth. That's crazy. I'm trying to think if there's anything left in my notes. Yeast overwhelms the gut and can impact the way the brain wants food. The yeast can control the brain. Already said that. All right, now that we're done with our notes, I think my takeaway is like, I want to try to get involved in my community, within my community as much as possible, whether you've got an ADHD diagnosis or not. Maybe there's ADHD mental developmental like workshops in your city. I live in St. Louis, and the fact that this even just took place, I've been invited through Facebook twice. So I don't know. It was very nerve-wracking. I decided to go. I don't know if you struggle with anxiety or OCD. I understand that social environments can be really nerve-wracking for some people. I want to say, trust me on this, if you push yourself in uncomfortable situations enough, you will get used to it. Like, I was a twin and used to doing everything with another human being. I feel like in the past I've been very codependent, and I just started pushing myself in environments where I've gotten to the point where I love going by myself and everything's a comedy. Like, I just try to have fun, and internally within myself, I try to stay focused, but at the same time, if I'm uncomfortable, I allow myself to make a joke about the situation to myself. Like, oh, I was just really awkward right then, or oh, that's really funny, or, you know, just mentally take a reprieve, almost like a mini meditation session. Like, if you're super stressed, like, just, it's going to be okay. Step out, go to the bathroom, whatever. Just almost like you have to acclimate yourself to uncomfortable situations, or else you're never going to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you're never going to grow, and you're never going to envision more for your life, like I say on my main channel. So I don't know what y'all thought of this video. I know that this is super exciting, Ardell's Adventures, because it's out of the norm from my other videos. I was debating on whether or not I should put this video on the main channel, but you know what? I filmed this with the intention of putting this on this channel because it is me going on an adventure, whether it's ADD related or not. So let me know what you thought about this video. Please give it one big thumbs up. It really helps me out. Subscribe to this channel if you're interested in following along more on this kind of pace. And so you'll be notified also the moment I upload another video. Remember to hit the gray bell. I think I said that backwards, and that's okay. And I hope that you all have a good rest of your day, week, and everything. And let me know any ventures you go on or anything you want to see me do. Like, I'm up for tips and advice to put myself in some uncomfortable situations here in my hometown of St. Louis where not many people film themselves. So I hope you enjoyed this video again, and I will see you next time. Bye.